Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Crochet Story Time with Charlie. Today's episode kind of goes along the lines of last week's episode, and along the lines of it is about another mom and children. Now, this is coming back to my home state of North Carolina and also back close to my local area here in Buncombe County in Asheville, North Carolina. This story is similar to the Donkey Lady in the fact that mom lost her kids in a fire. So currently, we are looking at a stone bridge, labeled simply as Helen's Bridge. So the question is, have you ever driven across an old stone bridge only to have your car suddenly die for no apparent reason? What if when you were looking into the darkness, you saw a woman standing beneath the arch? A woman searching for her daughter. Like I said, tonight we are traveling back to Asheville, North Carolina to investigate one of North America's most infamous haunted locations. Like I said, we're talking about Helen's Bridge. Is the legend nothing more than local folklore, or have thousands of visitors, and in myself included, encountered something they simply can't explain? Why don't we delve in a little deeper into that? Why don't we talk about that a little bit? Hidden among the forest of Bowcatcher Mountain sits an elegant stone bridge built in 1909. Originally, it wasn't intended to become a paranormal hotspot. It was simply the carriage entrance leading wealthy visitors to the magnificent Zealandia Mansion, a sprawling Tudor Revival estate looking over Asheville. Constructed from locally quarried stone, the bridge blended perfectly into the mountain landscape. Few people could have imagined that over a century later, it would become one of North Carolina's most haunted places. Today, thrill seekers, paranormal investigators, and curious tourists visit the bridge hoping to witness the ghost that locals simply call Helen. According to local legend, Helen lived near Zealandia Mansion with her beloved daughter. Their lives were ordinary until tragedy struck. One day, a devastating fire consumed their home. Helen desperately tried to rescue her child, but she could not prevail. Her daughter perished in the flames. Overcome with unimaginable grief, Helen wandered over to the stone bridge overlooking the mountain, and there she too took her own life. Locals say that her spirit, never left. Instead, she continues searching for her daughter that she lost over 100 years ago. And visitors say if you call her name, she might answer. Now, whether you believe in ghosts or not, the stories surrounding Helen's Bridge are remarkably consistent. I myself even have personal experiences with Helen's Bridge. Even my partner also has experiences with Helen's Bridge. Um, One of the many things that you say if you go to Helen's Bridge and you, excuse me, walk across the bridge backwards and say her name 3 times and say, Helen, Helen, are you near? Or I'm sorry, it's Helen, 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 are you near? You may hear her say, yes. I personally never had that happen. However, I've had 3 different stories. Um, the first one is just like it says, witnesses report, many witnesses report hearing screams, guttural, earth ripping screams. The one that I heard coming through the trees where Helen's screaming, "Where's my daughter?" You also hear whispers. Most people say they're just whispers carried by the mountain wind. Other women also, or other people also report seeing a pale woman standing underneath the bridge, only to turn around and a few seconds later she's gone. Also, this is the weirdest thing that happens to most people that experience Helen's Bridge. Their car or any other electronic equipment, phone batteries die, cars will refuse to start. Also, there have been burnt, sooty handprints on people's back windows, on people's paint. I've had the handprint on my window. Um, some people, like I said, they even hear her, but a lot of people hear her ask very quietly and scared, "Have you seen my daughter?" A lot of witnesses also do report that they have seen Helen hanging beneath the bridge before she vanishes into thin air. The coincidence that everybody sees it, mass suggestion, or something entirely different. I mean, who knows? Um, so here's where things kind of get a little interesting. There is no clear historical records of a woman named Helen that lives at this location or that ever lived at this location. Despite the popularity of her story, there are no documented records that she lived there. Their child died in her child died in a fire, or that anyone committed suicide from this bridge. Now, this bridge is very real. It still stands there today. You can drive past it. You cannot get to the mansion. It is off limits to visitors and the general public. It is privately owned. Now, like I said, that mansion's very real. The bridge is very real. Helen, however, she's a ghost. Figuratively, literally, she's a ghost. But because that legend has become so deeply rooted in the culture around Asheville, fact and fiction have become impossible to separate. Even references in literature helped keep this legend alive. And sometimes the most enduring ghost stories aren't supposed to be supported by documents. They're supposed to be supported by generations of folks just like me and you, just like what I'm doing now, and telling you stories and making you or trying to convince you that someone somewhere has experienced something extraordinary. Now, there are different legend or versions of this legend. Helen's story has changed over time. Most versions say she took her own life after losing her daughter. Other legends say that she was devastated by betrayal and scandal. Um, Most people even suggest that she jumped from the bridge rather than hanging herself. However, which way you hear the story, it's always the same. Ends the same. She's never found peace. And she always still wanders the bridge, searching for what she's lost. Today, Helen's Bridge also remains one of the most visited paranormal locations in North Carolina. Now, whether you're a skeptic, believer, or somewhere in between, the bridge has an undeniable atmosphere. The ancient stones, towering trees, the mountain fog, and also the legend that refused to disappear. Now, in your own personal opinion, do you think Helen's Bridge is truly haunted? I mean, I have my own personal experiences with this bridge, but do you think this most heartbreaking story has grown into one of the biggest America's ghost legends? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And please, if you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe, leave your comments. Like I said, let me know what this end episode. Excuse me, I can't talk tonight. This end week's episode is going to be about. We're going to try to stick with a theme every 2 episodes. So please, thanks for watching and enjoy your night. Goodbye.